And welcome back to the Cleve, Loveland, and the Lone Ranger Show. Remember, looking up and down your street, one of those rooftops you're looking at, chances are I helped sell it, buy it, or manage it as an investment property. And chances are the Lone Ranger probably did a mortgage on it sometime in the past 30 years. I think his first mortgage, you carved it out in stone, didn't you? Just like Moses in the tablets?
That's right. It was all done on a tablet.
Right. Real quick, I want to tease. I've got one listing right now coming to market. Everything else I have is under contract. Things are flying off the shelf. And I do have an office building on Edgewater Drive for $480,000, but it's about 3,000 square feet. But also, I've got a house coming in Dr. Phillips, and this is the perfect starter home. And this is 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, big open floor plan, kind of a villa, tiny yard, but great location right in the heart of Dr. Phillips. And literally, this will be the least expensive home in Dr. Phillips. It's going to come on the market about $350,000.
You're kidding me.
We'll probably go above that, a little above that. Needs a little bit of work. But the other homes in the neighborhood are selling for $380,000, $399,000 fixed up or with or without pools. And this is what I'm talking about when you price a property right. I'll have multiple offers on that. I'll be able to pick the best buyer, the best price, obviously, but who can pay the most for above appraisal, which is what I'm kind of concerned with. I'm not letting appraisers affect my sellers' pocketbooks too much. So those kinds of things come into play when you have a good listing agent like the Loveland team. And Bruce, what else you got going on?
Well, there's a lot of things going on. We will have some wealth building classes coming up. I've got a class coming up on the 28th for real estate agents that want an update on what's going on in the market so they can better serve their clients. And we'll be doing another construction perm class. If you have any questions about when Cleve and I are doing classes, or you want to attend, or you want to see when they are, go to my website at webringyouhome.com. That's webringyouhome.com, or contact me at 407-250-9144. We'll always hook you up with the right class. You know, Cleve, I'll tell you what I'm really passionate about right now. It's really difficult to help the first-time home buyer when it comes to the price of a home. But it's easy for me to help them with the right mortgage. Because, let's face it, you can go zero money down on a USDA loan program.
Yep.
Okay, and there's plenty of areas in Lake County that qualify for that. And if you're a veteran, of course, you get extra special because you can go zero money down, no MI, right? So we've got some amazing programs for veterans. FHA, 3.5% down with marginal credit. You know, most lenders don't go below a 640 credit score. Some might go as low as 620. I don't have a credit score requirement on FHA. Mm-hmm. If I can get an approval, you can get a mortgage.
That's good.
It's great. So I help a lot more folks than most lenders will when it comes to getting an FHA mortgage, and that's only 3.5% down. Now, I also have low down payment loans for first-time home buyers on conventional loans, and you can get in for 3% down and get reduced interest rates and reduced private mortgage insurance. It's an amazing opportunity for you to be able to get into a home as a first-time home buyer. And call Cleve. He and his team, Nanette and Mike, buyers agents on your teams, phenomenal. Yeah. They take such great care of customers.
They're winning their offers. They're getting their offers in, and they know, like they'll talk to the agent. They'll figure out how many offers they're up against. You know, they're up against 5 offers, 15 offers. You know, where do they need to be? And basically up front, we're telling our buyers, you know, hey, if you're shopping at $350, we need to look and try and find you something around $320, $330, because you might need to go that high on it.
Absolutely.
You know, get it under contract, then try and backpedal.
Right.
Then say, hey, after I looked at it, after you do your inspection, we'd like to reduce the price. Now, if the seller says no, that probably means they had other offers like yours.
That's
so,
right.
Hey, rest easy. Sometimes we're getting that for them.
And here's the great thing. You know, Cleve's buyer's agents, they don't charge you to serve you. They don't. There's not a dime comes out of your pocket to compensate a buyer's agent on Cleve Loveland's team. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call them. You can always reach Cleve at 407-352-8118. You can reach me at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144, or webringyouhome.com. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of Cleve Loveland and the Lone Ranger Radio.